should be about Ghana first, Ghana last, Ghana always. And so this issue of where we've opened our markets and everybody is bringing things in, we need to review it. And so the things that we have been naturally given here, we need to create value with it and use it. So what we can use, we use. What we can't use, we export, and then we make more money. And this, I mean, I know that there was a thorough debate about it. They looked at it and they decided that it was useful for this country because other countries have benefited from the cannabis that they did. And the levels in which they are being grown is not the levels that you are going to 0.03. It's not the one that you are going to put in your, and have a puff and you know. So what we hope is like that the narcotics board do the proper or they are a strong regulatory entity, you know. Because,
haven't they proven to be so over the years?
Well, this is a different sort of thing, you know. Over the years, they went out, they caught people doing it, they destroyed it, etc., etc. This kind of regulatory it's a different path, you know. So they must ensure that they aren't the abusers. They are already warning us about the Goro boys who will come and things like that. There will always be people, criminal minds, who would want to take advantage of the situation to profit from it. And so regulation must be tough. And the examples are there where, you know, the FDA is one of the best on the continent. You understand? They have built the FDA up to that point. We would hope that the narcotics board, who are in charge of, would also gain that kind of efficiency and effectiveness, and gain that kind of reputation that this one, you can't, no shenanigans can go past them.
And I'm coming to you, Nanaya, because as of 2024, Madam Susan Aduana-Mankwa, you talked about the benefit. The global legal cannabis market was valued at approximately 21 billion US dollars, with projections suggesting that it could reach about 100 billion US dollars by 2030. I think that Madam Susan Aduana-Mankwa made a point about how to ensure that we fit within the regulatory framework by ensuring people do not abuse it. How do you expect that to happen? Briefly, and then I'll come to you.
Good morning, Beatrice, and good morning to my sisters, my auntie and my sister. You're looking nice. My auntie too is flashy. And good morning to all my friends. And good morning to the military attaché at the Flagstaff House, Colonel Bashir Issa, one of the handsome military officers you can find around. Bash, good morning. You see, I'm quiet. Auntie was talking. You see, I hope this one would not open the gate for people to abuse cannabis. Enforcement and monitoring should be key. It should not be a talk shop that we are going to make sure they do the right thing. There should be systems in place to ensure that they are monitoring. You get a proper tight system. Because you see, as it stands now, there's a thin line between what people are smoking and what they are growing for the industrial use. A thin line because if they don't put in the right systems to monitor and evaluate, it can be mixed up. So we need to, the Narcotics Control Board, for me, needs to be very vigilant on this matter. There is no doubt that medicinal cannabis is now one of the things or one of the areas that is bringing money into the world, the global markets. I once passed by a shop like that in the US, and I went back and I asked them a few questions. So it is a good start, but they should also have clarity. Whatever they say, there should be clarity, because, for instance, they haven't told us exactly who is a qualified entity. I don't know, maybe it's in the in whatever the act. Because they should be very specific. That when we're having some backroom discussions, Auntie Susan said, this is for those who are in the medicine industry.
The commercial medicinal production.
Yes, so they should tell us who are the qualified entities. Are they those who produce medicine in Ghana, like all the companies? Are they the traditional people who also do medicines in Ghana? What quantities can be used in these medicines? You get, especially the local traditional medicines that we have. Because you don't want a situation where somebody bottles something, then labels it cannabis, and people will be just drinking it. We have seen it happen. There are so many things on the market today. When you go to Makola, there are so many, some of them, they said it's for Botox, some of them say for all manner of things. They're on the market. I'm surprised. And Susan is saying FDA is one of the best. When you go to town, the things that are on the market, you'll be shocked. I don't even know how they get in. The other one is smuggling. You know, we have these porous borders. So we need to be, we need to collaborate. You get me? Customs, with immigration, to make sure that when these things are grown, they are not smuggled. The good side of it is that it will be a good export commodity, because most people, most countries are asking for it. But the smuggling aspect, so that you see that we are growing it in bulk in this country, in a mass in this country, by the end of the day, you won't find the product. Because this is an
so then Ghana gets to lose the economic benefit of producing it.
Do you get it? The financial and economic, everything, we will lose it because people are carrying it and nobody is looking. Then we will hear all manner of things at the end of the day.
But that would also mean what kind of prices you set for those who are into the production.
That is what I'm saying. So we need to watch. I mean, the regulatory regime should be very stringent. You get it? Sometimes we do things and we say that, oh, because they have to be used as a product or an input for medicine, we are not going to maybe price it too high. We have to meet some equilibrium that will discourage people from smuggling it out.
You raised an issue with the fact that Madam Susan Edouard-Mankwa said FDA is one of the best. I mean, being a pharmacist, perhaps my assumption is that she knows what FDA does. You don't think that the problem with the kind of things we're seeing on our markets could be the weakening of the post-market surveillance unit of the FDA?
But it's still FDA.
I think that FDA does many things. They may be short.
Don't let it take my time.
No, they may be short-staffed. In
a second, and then Anaya would finish. Yes. Please go ahead, finish, and I'll go to Madam.
You have just. Yes. I mean, so the point. What I'm saying is that FDA. Yes, she's a pharmacist. She know me. I'm a lay person. I'm a grassroots person. So I look at things and I see what is on the market. I see a proliferation of so many things. I peep into. Sometimes you go into a restaurant, you peep and you see what is in the kitchen. You don't even want to continue eating there. So
they are not the ones supposed to be doing that.
Who does the monitoring of that?
Restaurants.
No,
no.
But it's food. Is it not food?
Yes, but the fact that they do food, but it will be that aspect. There are other agencies that are supposed to.
Where are those agencies?
I think the tourist board. There are
agencies that go into that.
The environmental.
You see, that's what I was talking. That's what I was talking about. I was talking about collaboration.
So there are different agencies.
I am saying that collaboration.
Things.
Once there is food, we are eating it into our body. They have to, because then maybe they have to collaborate. It's food.
No, food. The fact that they are called food and drugs doesn't necessarily mean that they go into restaurants to look at.
So it's actually the Ghana Tourism Authority and the Food and Drugs Authority as well.
Don't hammer on that one alone. I'm saying that you go to the market, there are things there. You see, I mean, I'm telling you.
Okay, you are in government.
Yes.
So in fact, if you are government and you have a government agency, they come under the Ministry of Trade and this.
Yes.
Yeah, government agency. You don't sit here and run down your agency.
I'm not running down the agency.
If you have a problem,
Madam Susan Edouard-Mankwa, if
take exception to that.
Are you a member of that?
No,
are you
not a member. I'm not a member of the FDA. But I think I take an exception to.
Why?
But if she can finish with her thought,
let me finish. What is this?
Not your response, and then when she's done, I'll come to you.
Yes, I'm in government, and you don't know what I've done, but I'm saying that we need to. No, I'm serious because I have seen so many things I'm worried about as a person. Do you get me? As a person, I've called them. I've made calls.
I think people have complained about
my
even
cousin
the
used to be
aphrodisiacs that are on the market, and the fact that people. Yeah.
And Susan, you and me have had discussions on kidney diseases that for young people. How are we getting there? You ask everybody, they tell you that these things that they drink, the aphrodisiacs. Yes. I don't know, I don't believe in, but you told me. How are they there? How did they get there? The fact that I'm in government, I can't, my area is not FDA, my area is energy. So if you come and you tell me about energy issues, I'm dealing with it. Somebody too is there. So I'm not running them down. I'm saying that let's do it right. Do you agree with me? Yes. I'm not being emotional. Let me concentrate on my weed.
Madam Susan Adraman,
please let me concentrate on my weed.
I want you to finish now because Madam Gloria Menu has not even given her thoughts on this
I'm
yet.
saying that I'm saying that we need. It's a good move, very good move. We've been waiting for it. Maybe there'll be some disappointment because most people said they will grow weed, but now there's specificity to it. You get me? That you should be in a certain area before you can
0.3%.
Yes, you can get the license. Because if you are not in the medicinal area, you cannot get the license to do what? To
produce or engage in it.
Because I said I will grow, but now I'm not in the medicinal area. So I don't know if
we don't know their qualifications. So you never know.
We don't know if there's provision for people to even sell.
I think in that statement I read from NACOC, it said that agencies interested should contact NACOC directly. So I believe if you're interested, you can contact NACOC and you'll be able to get all the necessary information needed, whether you even qualify.
That is what
or
I'm
your
saying.
company qualifies for it.
So I mean, it's a good thing for me. We are starting, it's a good thing, but we need to also be careful that we don't cross the line.
We don't cross the line.
It's very, very important that we don't cross the line.
Okay.
Yes.
Please, I want you to give your quick response, and I'll take the thought of Madam Amenu.
Okay, so maybe I hustled.
You hustled me.
I hustled you a little bit.
You didn't hustle me. How did you hustle
so you're fine. So I'm about to apologize. Okay. So anyway, but the issue is, you are in government. If there is an agency that you feel are not up to par, the last thing I expect is for you to sit on air and run them down.
I'm not running them down.
The issue is that you take it up because you're in the corridors of power.
I am telling you
you can speak to them and you can point it out to them.
I am telling you that I have done so. I have done so before.
When you then continue to do so.
I should continue to do so.
The most work is not done necessarily in the air, but in the corridors of power where authority can just say. But for me,
so you don't believe that there are aphrodisiacs on the market?
There are aphrodisiacs on the market.
So why is it so?
Like every agency every regulatory agency, maybe except for China, but I mean, for most regulators, some things may slip through the cracks, especially in our situation where sometimes we are under-resourced because we are a resource deficit nation. We are rich, but yet we are poor because of certain things. And because of that, the government has to share the national cake with all and ensure that, it functions well. But sometimes they are unable to do that. And because of that, there will be certain lapses in it. But it doesn't stop us from being efficient and good at the things that we do. And if you ask other people, there are many things that FDA, I mean, if I take the clinical trials unit, for instance, in the FDA, they're one of the best. And that is why, even when the Ebola came out, lots of countries brought their protocols to our FDA to review them. You understand? People would not trust in their country trials to go on and bring it to another country to say, look, your FDA has a good advisory board who looks at clinical trials and for the safety of our people, look at it. So I wouldn't want that anybody will sit here and say things about them, because there's certain
what are you
aspects
saying?
that they are fantastic at, but they will slip.
No.
Yes, we have problems.
No,
we,
but
we
Susan,
definitely have problems.
Yes,
now we are moving away from the.
Please, let's not do an answer on this, because we will have to help. Yes, please, come in.
Nanaya.
Don't help you.
Help her.
Not me.
I think from where Nanaya was trying to hint at is the fact that there are so many things which are hammering us as human beings in Ghana, especially when it comes to people who are doing products. Let me take example, these aphrodisiacs where we use for our bottles enhancements and breast enhancements.
Aphrodisiacs are not
let's finish.
That was what she was. They drink for sexual stuff, and there are some that we drink also that they think that will trim their breasts and buttocks. They drink them. There are some that they drink. There are some that I know. I'm trying to add everything
so
together.
I think there is the.
So these things are something of.
Please allow her to make her
concern.
point. Yes.
These things are something of concern.
Yeah.
We see these gao boys with drinks. They think that it will give you power and all that, and it's on the street.
Who are gao boys?
These let me say my northern Niger guys, and you see sometimes even those things.
Are those who sell dates and other foods?
No, they are different.
Okay.
We have people in the streets.
Yes, they sell
and
drinks.
They have baskets.
They will introduce it to you.
They have baskets and they have these aphrodisiacs and other stuffs in there. I saw a video on TikTok where some of the drinks that I've drank that before in Zongo. You know, I'm a Zongo girl, so I won't lie.
You were convinced to drink that?
It's not convinced because we know that from the Niger, there are people who, think of you. They talk of the strength if you take just a sip, and it's like a syrup. Okay, and it's everywhere in the Zongo streets. It's everywhere in the bases, the bases. Like
did you get any side effects? Because that's really one of the reasons we are talking about
and
this.
I recently saw a video where they poured that liquor or drink or juice or whatever it's called on a plastic, and it melted. And I was like, ooh, and I didn't know, and I've drank it before. Okay, so these things are something that we see them everywhere. Yes, how did they come to the market? If you go to Nima Market right now, there are thousands of them that don't have FDA approval. So it's not just hammering on the organization or pulling them down, but it's a matter of concern to us. Because I have kids, we have family members, and they are purchasing them. How did they get to the markets? Okay, so it's a matter of concern. We are not deviating. And even this cannabis,
we are not running anybody down.
We are not running anybody down, but it's a matter of concern as women. Okay, if we can't just watch things,
as human beings, because people take it and the side effects are both for both men and women.
Men and women, okay, and it's a matter of concern. And if you look at these containers, there is FDA approval. Okay, just recently,
not all of them, because those who sell on the buses, they sometimes they use fake embossment. Other times there's nothing at all, but they convince people on the buses.
Let's all voice let's all add our voices to it. Okay, who is checking whether the FDA approval on these products are really from FDA? Who is checking if it's fake? Who is doing what? We have to put our agencies to their toes. We have to make them accountable. They are using taxpayers' money to run these organizations, and we just can't keep quiet.
Look,
sometimes
I want her to finish, and I'll come to you because you seem to work closely with them. So I want to really get your understanding of how you think the regulatory frameworks or the measures put in place could be strengthened so we don't see some of these things. Please, I want you to land.
So let me land on this cannabis. It's very important and it's very welcoming. Some of us are very happy that at least we're going to get the license to use in some of our products. And we should also let them know that narcotics has to also work on certain things. Just like when they arrest these products, burning them and it's going to waste. we should also let narcotics know that they should bring a body where those who do illegal trafficking, they can at least, I don't know whether they can also set refining it or making it into product instead of throwing it away or taking it to it. So it's not just about medicine, but some of
so you mean
products
those
like
they
hair,
seize, instead of just destroying them, they should take, put them to good use.
Good use,
Okay.
yes. So some of us are very happy because even in my soap production, I use the cannabis. Some in the hair products, I heard you say it. It's very important to us as a country, and it's going to bring a lot of income, and then I think increase employment.
Increase employment. So,
yes.
please, I'm coming to you briefly and specifically on the regulatory bit. Knowing how these agencies work, how you expect them to work to ensure that this time around we get it right.
One, I think that they should be resourced properly. Look, the FDA, if you go to their district offices, they don't have the numbers to do that kind of policing. You understand? Our borders are porous, but the FDA are not the ones to be necessarily at the borders to do that. Other agencies must support. Other agencies also have resource constraints. You get it? If somebody, if people, she says she lives in Nima and she knows that somebody is doing something. Okay. So somebody is doing something that you believe does not benefit the community. Why? The FDA have anonymous tips, whatever, or the Narcotics Commission have anonymous tips to say, point them out, because sometimes they need this kind of intelligence to go and stop some of the actions that they say. But if you decide to shield your community member, and they are unable to reach them because they have resource constraints and they don't have people everywhere. If you go to the districts, they don't have the required numbers to do that. You understand? And of course, with a government freeze on employment, unless the government has opened employment and the people are allowed to employ more people, then the government will say, I can only take 50 people more. Do you expect to have 50 agents all over the country? You get it? In many countries, I mean, if you are looking in terms of drug control, if you let's take even the US, for example, apart from maybe the Food and Drugs Administration there doing certain things, you'd have the DAE looking at that. You understand? You probably have the FIB looking at certain drug things coming in. You probably have so many other agencies. You get it? Of course, they must work together so that there is synergy and that the summation of their efforts bring us the same. But we cannot, yes, point out I don't have a problem people pointing out the shortfalls so that we can get better service. It is the particular people who are pointing out the shortfalls that I'm having a problem with at this table right now.
What particular
you understand? That
you
is my...
You want me to tell everybody where you are.
Hey, tell them.
Don't bring yourself.
Tell them. I'm here. Tell them I'm right here. Tell them.
Let me clarify something.
You got a chance to respond to her. But I want
let me respond quickly. In fact, I want to recommend Zongo Against Drugs, our chiefs in our Zongo communities, which we are doing very well in pinpointing some of these things. Is normal. We have to talk about it.
Yeah,
so, Madam Susan,
it's normal.
What are you rebutting?
I will let you come in very
attention of FDA.
Yes.
And we are also doing our part.
That's what we are doing here.
We are all doing our part.
Yes. She's saying that, yes, call them out, but don't be in government and call them out.
We are all in government.
No, but we are all in government. She's also in government. You are in government.
I
am saying that what Susan said. One, if in government I see the president also voices our concerns when he's talking, even though he's the president.
Then he should not.
You get me? He voices our concerns because he even I just saw that he's worried about the situation in the cocoa sector.
Yes,
he's the president. Yes, and he spoke about it.
But he's doing something about it.
But please, the fact that I'm in government doesn't mean that if I see something I shouldn't say. If they hear, they will do something about it. You see, whatever Susan has said is neither here nor there. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has 58 ministers When we go into time, some people had 200, 180, 178, whatever. 58 ministers. But now, this economy is one of the best thus far so far. 58. If you are an FDA and you need staff, you can just even go to Makola. One staff. Go and do a recce. Go round, find out what is going, take notes. Get the police to help you to ransack the place.
Do I hear you say that we can do a lot more even with the limited numbers? So you are disagreeing with that?
I mean, that one.
The 58 ministers, they have
Please,
ministries under them.
Let her make a point. Yes.
We need to employ, yes. People have to work. But if you don't have that kind of, it doesn't mean you shouldn't work. Do you understand? Mahama Care, she just started. Obobia, good morning, Obobia. Wonderful, she's doing wonderfully well. She hasn't got staff, but right now they are all in the district offices, district hospitals in this country, trying to take data. But Obobia has no staff.
Now,
Not enough staff. But they are out there. The few that she has, it is about strategy. It is about how you want to work efficiently. Do you get me? It's about commitment. So don't talk about numbers.
all right. Now, talking about this is also another big challenge that, of course, forced that emergency cabinet meeting yesterday within the cocoa sector. We've already heard the Chief Executive Officer of Cocoa Board, Dr. Randiabe, giving us the reasons why we where we are, including the collapse of the syndicated loans, also some 333,000 plus tons in failed supply that, you know, kind of were put out there that will supply you this, but eventually wasn't supplied. Also, some $500 immediate loss per ton because of the pre-arrangement that was done earlier by the previous government. A number of them wasteful jute sack procurement and ideal processing capacity as well, because the country currently has about 400,000 tons capacity of processing cocoa beans, but because we take foreign loans, we kind of use them to pay, and we are not able to give the beans to our local people to process, so we are able to get the kind of money we need to deal with the problem. So as it stands, farmers are owed, we understand, about 2 seasons, some $185 million that really need to be paid. And we understand that around 11 a.m. today, the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasia Lato-Forson, is expected to address the press on some of the decisions they took at that emergency cabinet meeting yesterday. I want to start with you, Madam Amenu. Really, your thoughts on how perhaps we've had systems in place all along, yet we still got here.
Yes, so I think that this is a very big call, and we are grateful to President Mahama for thinking about Ghanaians. He's really resetting, and it's encouraging to know from the farmers and people in the rural areas are encouraged, even though they are not having monies in their pockets. They know that there is a listening government, and it will go a long way to help. I think that way forward, we are looking forward to hearing from the finance minister this morning. I know everybody is sitting by their TV sets waiting, and we are hopeful. We are hopeful that something will be done immediately to see to the situation. But I think that is because of the rollover and this syndicated loan, and how for years Ghana has been dealing with the buying and purchasing of cocoa. So I think we are all looking forward to the finance minister as we sit here, and we are encouraging the cocoa producers and our farmers that this is something that is being from the past, and we inherited it. If I say we inherited this, the recent government inherited it from the past. So we cannot blame so much now, since we know where the lapses are. We are hopeful that the news will be good, and our farmers will be paid, and cocoa will continue.
Indeed. Aside from the specific issue about the payment of the farmers as regards what they owed, are there other specific expectations of you from the finance minister?
Yes, I think that there are so many wastages when it comes to maybe excessive buying of sacks and other stuff. we should sit up as a country. Accountability is something that we all need as a nation right now. And we know that the current cocoa board is working so hard. We should look forward to reducing some of the wastages when it comes to the excessive buying and other stuff. Let's see how the years go. We are now looking up to cocoa board to deliver, so that the subsequent years that come will not come back to the same issue at hand now.
Indeed, Madam Susan Adramankwa.
Well, I mean, we're going to listen to the finance minister at 11 and see what new and innovative things he's going to put on board to manage what has been mismanaged over the years. You understand? And ensure that they go on the right footing. Because it defies belief that, you know, the government sells the cocoa and at a higher price than what they give to the farmers. You understand? And yet still you end up, it's only mismanagement that brings that about. And we have been exporting cocoa forever.
Don't forget that cocoa prices have dropped.
No, yes, but then you should have put it down to a fine art by now. We have been, let's say that even for the last 60 years, we've been exporting cocoa. Okay, as long as we have been Ghana, we've been exporting cocoa. We should have had it down to a fine art by now, because cocoa prices have been slumming over there. What was one of the reasons why they instigated the coup against Nkrumah? Because cocoa prices had gone down at that particular time, and Ghana was not having the cash that it needed. You understand? And the people felt they were hungry. They wanted all sorts of things. Amidst other things, but those were some of the reasons why that Nkrumah was struggling at that point. So cocoa prices going up and down and fluctuating is not a new thing. It didn't just happen right now. We have had 60 years and we have not been able to find a management system to ensure that something that feeds us, literally feeds us, we manage it well. It's just mismanagement. So we would hope that we are turning the tide now with whatever they're going to put down. It's not just mismanagement, but there's also willful corruption in some of the things that have gone on in the cocoa in industry. I mean, you have licensed buyers cheating the farmers, you understand? Weighing scales that don't actually give the amount of cocoa that is supposed to be paid to the farmer. So he puts his cocoa sack there. The thing, instead of reading maybe 60 kilograms, is reading 58, and he's shortchanged because the scales. So this, in that whole industry, there are so many things that have gone wrong.
Everybody seems to be at fault.
Yeah, and of course, right now we are not producing as much. We used to produce what you call it. Over 1 million tons. Maybe in the last 10 years, we've dropped. I think we are producing about 500,000 tons. I can't give the exact figures. But we are not producing as much. Why? Because, of course, the cocoa farmers are threatening to go give it to galamseyers, you know, and that is a worry.
And smuggling.
And then, of course, smuggling. But the destruction of our environment and our lands.
So let me give you the data you were looking for. Falling, so over a 14-year period, the production has fallen from over 1 million tons, like you said, 2010-2011, to roughly 600,000 to 654,000 tons for 2023-2024 crop season. We're yet to get that of 2025.
Yeah, so of course. So if you're not producing as much and the prices have gone down, you'll be earning even less. You understand? And then, of course, the quality of our cocoa, because one of the things that was also going for us was the quality of our cocoa. So, you know, the quality, with all these things happening with the galamsey, the quality of our cocoa has gone down. So there are myriad of issues that are affecting that sector. And we need to look at it holistically. You get it. Stamp out corruption where corruption can be found. make sure that where there's mismanagement, a quality management system is put into place where there is proper accountability for everybody's actions. And maybe sometimes the diversification of cocoa funds to do other things, because we've heard of some of these things where the cocoa board were doing all sorts of things
We'll go into that
and then,
briefly.
so we would hope that whatever the finance minister is coming out with, they are one, there is the how do I put it, the counter measures put into place to ensure that if the system can check itself and make sure that it is going well, and that if it is not going well, the system itself will immediately recognize that we are not getting our aims. The proper indicators should be put in place, that if the system is not working, immediately we can see it and say it's not going well, maybe we need to do it like this, we need to do that. So a proper quality management system must be put in place to ensure that whatever he's coming out with, gives us the results that we want. That's what we want.
That's what we want.
Yes. And then, of course, we can also then begin to look at not just exporting our cocoa, but placing value on it right here so that we, can enjoy the benefits of cocoa. It also has plenty medicinal, and they say, we want to be the healthiest people, on the planet, and our cocoa will help us to do that. So that also needs to be looked at. But the whole sector needs to be regulated or managed properly.
Let me ask you this briefly before I come to you, Nanaya, because we know that the cocoa sector has had a lot of problems. I mean, we won't have all the time to go through that, including smuggling and pricing as well. The understanding we're getting is that yesterday in that emergency cabinet meeting, present were, of course, the finance minister, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, the trades minister, Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare, of course, the CEO of Cocoa Board, because it concerns his office, and the Interior Minister, as well as a few others. How does this combination, as it were, what kind of signal does it give you about the seriousness of the government to dealing with this from all fronts, really?
I mean,
You're asking her a question again.
No, very briefly, I'll come to you.
No, not me,
Don't
but
worry,
she's
I'll
also
come to
there.
you. Please go ahead.
The way she's
Briefly.
No, I think
you are
that-
just giving another time.
I
Please
think
go ahead.
that the government has shown seriousness because they know the gravity of the situation. And all these people that are there are required to be there. There must be the interagency collaboration, because it cannot be one agency alone in terms of maybe the trade. They definitely must be all these agencies and all these ministers working, to ensure that the proper thing is done and that there's a proper follow through and results are achieved.
Nanaya, please.
For me, if anything is brought to the fore, it is discussed for the public good, and that is what we were taught about agenda setting. So, for me, it is a good thing that it has been discussed, it has come to the fore, and Honorable Atoforson said that government is going to restructure the cocoa sector.
Yeah.
So for me, it is a good thing. I mean, we've had all these issues and we always put it under the carpet and we don't want to talk about it because it is cocoa, it involves Ghanaians, it involves farmers. But now it has come to the fore that it even necessitated an emergency cabinet meeting. That is how serious and that is how important the cocoa sector is. So I know that something will be done about it. A lot will be done about it so that we do not get into this situation anymore. Do you get me? Because this is not something that happened in the past, only in the past 12 months. It is something that has been there, simmering. It comes in silos, in little portions, little drops. Then it's now erupted into. But it is good that it has happened under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, because he's somebody who is a hands-on person. He's somebody who loves the country and is prepared to do the right thing. I know that the NDC government is going to make sure that these issues don't continue to, come up against that. Cocoa is for everybody. For instance, I wish even all our cocoa is carried to cocoa processing. For them to do all the things that they do, the chocolates, the cocoa powder.
So that would depend on the capacity.
That's what I'm saying, that
Yeah.
I was a wish. Everybody will have a wish list, a dream. I wish that they have a bigger production line, a larger production line. Because, for instance, chocolate for this Valentine's Day, at a point you might not even find it. Chocolate is now used for everything. It's good. They even now customize it with your picture, birthdays, funerals, and things like that. So I believe that it's government is going to do something about it. There's no two ways about that. Because once the president has said he will do it, he will do it. He doesn't say things and touch and go. No. It's not like some people that I know, that they will just touch or they will even brush it under the carpet. The sector has challenges. And when we came to power, the sector has challenges, and a lot has been done to make sure that cocoa farmers get what they need, cocoa farmers are looked after. But when some of these things are hidden, and then you know that you need to, you need to work on it and make it work. You said something, and that is one thing that, the two things, the galamsey and the smuggling. It is time for us to deal with the galamsey issues and the smuggling, because it is a problem. It is an anathema to the cocoa sector. Because as we talk about volumes of cocoa being reduced, we should also understand that there are some activities within and around which is not helping the growth of the sector. Galamsey and smuggling. That's why we talked about enforcement. And I know that maybe this morning, when Honorable Ato, you also give us measures for enforcement. Because when these cocoa beans are smuggled, you don't even have an account of it. So it's even possible we are doing the milling, but some is leaving without you having an account. You only account or scale what you have bought and paid for. But what goes out of the country, you don't have any idea about it. That's why it's a smuggle. And our people are also selling their family lands. These are family lands. You see, when the family lands are sold, it doesn't behove on one person. It is the family that will decide that we are not going to grow cocoa anymore. We are selling it for galamsey. So there should also be a lot of public awareness. Within the cocoa growing areas in the whole of Ghana, we should make people aware that it is more profitable to grow cocoa. It will help the nation, and so that you don't have to sell your products outside, and you don't have to also sell your land to people who are in galamsey.
Talking about land, do you support those who suggest that there are certain lands that are, or portions of lands that are very critical to the state, and perhaps the government would have to look at ways of reclaiming them so that the state would own these lands?
Yes, for me, state ownership of property, for me, is the thing to go, because of me, what I believe in. Do you understand? Susan was trying to run away from CPP, but her first example was Kwame Nkrumah. He didn't mention any name. She mentioned it twice. Meanwhile, she runs away. But you see,
I'm not running away.
Yeah. When you say, she said, "Oh me," but
I'm an Nkrumah.
But the first thing she said was Kwame Nkrumah. She didn't mention any name.
But
I am interested, and I stand for state ownership of properties. I believe that when the state owns properties, it takes away all some of these things that we are talking about. So that, let's say that we have state farms growing cocoa. These lands belong to government, and then government has control over what will be done. Government himself knows how much cocoa has been grown. The measurement of it, government knows about it. So then we would then have the full benefit of our cocoa industry. But I also believe that I think that there should be a plan for export. I agree with Susan, because we need, especially our chocolates and our cocoa products, we need to find a market for them globally. Because Switzerland is a country where they're a chocolate country. I remember I once went to a shop, and I always travel with chocolate, Ghana chocolate. And I picked the chocolate from the shelf and I paid for it. And I looked around and I asked her, why is it that you don't have Golden Tree Ghana chocolate? Then she asked me, what is Golden Tree? I said, that is a chocolate. The cocoa you are using, Ghana, that's where the cocoa...
Well, it will amaze you that a number of Swiss may not necessarily know where the cocoa
That is what I'm saying.
From. Yes.
So I was telling her. And she said, what is... So I went into my bag and I showed her. So I gave her a piece, the small one. I said, this is great.
Yeah.
You see, so we should also start exploring markets outside so that we can export our cocoa products.
Yeah.
We should go beyond the raw beans. Maybe the dwindling of the beans is telling us that it is time for us to go beyond the beans, the raw beans. It is time for us to put some value to it and export.
And perhaps a way other people have also suggested marketing our cocoa, products like chocolates.
Yes.
Because
But they do. I mean, cocoa production.
Yes,
they
but
do
cocoa
sell our
processing.
butter. They
So-
do sell the cocoa butter.
Yes.
In fact, to countries. But I think the
It's the
production is
volume.
the volume.
So,
The
for
volume,
instance,
the volume,
for
yeah.
instance, there was a time I picked a train from one city in Switzerland to another place, and part of the ticket was chocolate.
Yes.
So the other people have proposed that there should be other innovative ways of promoting what you
chocolate,
have,
yes.
so that people get to know even before they go to the shops to find that you have these products on the market. But I wanted us to move to the Ayawaso East by-election, which is coming up on the 3rd of March this year. And I would perhaps start with you, Madam Amenu, because going into this, a number of people are concerned about what happened within the MPP, the NDC primary, where Baba Jamal was emerged the winner. And there have been allegations of corruption. The special prosecutor is looking into it. And so the question being asked is, perhaps first of all, what's your understanding, or how do you take the treatment of the Baba Jamal case? Because that could influence how we're moving forward going into the by-election itself.
Okay. So this has not been news when it comes to gift sharing during election. It's been a trend for some time now. Since I even came to know politics, I knew that you would have to be assisting people, and it's no new thing. And personally, I know Baba Jamal very well. He's a very good friend and a brother and a lawyer as well. So I was surprised when they were tagging just one side, knowing that both sides and all sides, or all sides, let me say all sides because they were three, and all sides did the gift sharing, the giving of the cloth, sanitary pad, and all that. So it's a concern when it comes to us that we are coming into politics and the youth as a whole. I always say that if somebody gifts you something, take it, but vote for the right person. It's the right person we are looking for. If it's the competent person, the person for the people. And I think the votes spoke it. It's been a long trend that Ghanaians are always being gifted, and they always vote for the right person. So I think the right person won. Baba Jama has been the eye of Zongo for a while. He's mentoring even as some of the women. I'm not doing campaign here. He won.
The way Nanaya is looking at you.
Is looking at me as if I'm campaigning for somebody. I'm not
I'll
campaigning.
come to you, yes.
Because he won. So
yes.
From the numbers, he emerged the winner. And we are all looking forward to third match.
What is this cynical this thing?
I'll come to you. I'm coming to you now. Madam Susan Adraman. You're not done.
No, I wasn't done.
Please finish.
Didn't see you win.
You see, so we are all looking forward to third
Susan,
match.
this one you
and
are
I will
being very
appeal to
stubborn.
my people, Ayawaso, that we don't want any trouble when it comes to the day of the voting. I know my people. I'm a Zongo girl, so I know how
Your people are not anything. I beg
No,
you.
I know how
Why
things run. It's going to be smooth, but we are pleading that there
Your
shouldn't
people
be.
are fine. They are too fine.
We are fine. We don't
Yes.
want. We don't. Yes, even the convoy to the when I saw Baba Jama with his people walking in white, and there was no confusion. It was very nice, and we look forward.
And we are
to,
showing you that on the screen right
yes,
now.
so
actually.
it was so peaceful and nice, and we look forward to Ted. We see may the best person win, and there's not going to be trouble. We are fine. My people are fine. There's not going to be any confusion. If you're going, no, don't do anything that will be suspicious.
Okay.
You know, we know the gift is going to run. Take it, and this give you, take it. MP give you, take it. Vote for the right person.
Vote for the right person, Madam Susan Adomakwa.
No, the reason why I smiled was that
You didn't
smile.
It was cynical.
okay, the reason why I laughed was that apparently Baba Chama won by 32 votes.
Even if he won by
and then
2
he
votes,
gave 32-inch TVs out, and somebody was laughing and said that if he had given 65-inch TVs out, he may have won by 65 votes.
Somebody said it is alleged. That's what happened. Yes, but we know the numbers. No,
TV.
it was 30. It was 32. The numbers, yes.
The TVs that were given
Did
out.
you get one?
No, so okay, please go ahead with your point.
Did you get one?
No.
So how do you know it's 32?
Oh, but
No,
it was 32 inch
actually,
TVs.
yes.
Why the TVs they didn't hide under any?
Yeah.
They gave
We
the
actually
TVs
have pictures of people holding their television.
So what are you talking about?
It was on TV3.
Yeah.
But what we don't know is
So
not
he
Baba
should have
Jama who
given,
gave
he
it
should have
out.
given it
It's an
65.
internal
Well,
legit-
yes, he said that.
legit-
Well, if people
yes.
who are in his campaign feel like they want to give something to the delegates,
Yes.
it would not be the first time.
Yes.
So,
Well, I mean,
please.
I think that we need to look at the monetization of our politics
Yeah.
in general, because, and my thought has always been that the people who can actually put a stamp on it and cut it out is a ruling party. When they are in power, that is when they should be able to do that. And I listened to the General Secretary, Mr. Fifi Kwete, and it was instructive that he said, ideally, we should have annulled it.
Yes.
Because the whole thing was not kosher, you understand? But given time that we don't have, and this is what we will continue to do, we would hope that they know that we want to always achieve the ideal. That we want our politics to be such that it is not about money, but it's always about the best person. And so even if the best person does not give an incentive or a motivation or whatever, people will recognize that this is the best person for the job and give him the job. So it should not, because the more we monitorize our politics, the more we give the chance for criminal elements to come into our politics and rule. Because when criminals get money to a certain extent, the next thing they want is power to maintain it. And we've seen countries that have gone in that direction where the drug cartels have pushed politicians into certain corners that have not boded well for the countries. And we don't want to reach that point. So it's something that we must really take a serious view about and look at all the ways and checks and balances that will ensure that our politics becomes clean and free from it. Look, I mean, I'm not that old, but I know of times when, you know, the PNP, when they used to go around, they didn't used to give gifts. It was the people. It was the people who they went to visit, who fed them, who gave them monies to continue.
And that is what we see elsewhere.
And that's what we see elsewhere.
Yeah.
You understand? That is the ideal that we want to get to. So yes, we like what NDC did in saying that, look, we have seen this, we want to investigate it, but we know the constraints. And they are politicians, and politicians will do what politicians do. And so they took the political decision to allow it to go on, but they know what the ideal is. And so we are looking at them. We want the ideal. That is where we want our politics to go. That I come and I give my ideas, I give you my background, and I say, this is what I can do. And you vote for me based on it, not on my 32-inch TV.
Now, let me just bring us a bit of the report, really what it said, the 3-member committee's report chaired by the former Information Minister, Tutubi Kwachi. And it indeed said that, yes, all the parties participated in this alleged vote buying, but it is just Baba Jamal's own that has had a lot of recording on it. And also the bits you talked about, the time constraints and the fact that the NDC parties, the party's constitution does not have any provision allowing the annulment of the results as had been demanded by the majority in Parliament, for example. Yes, so that's basically a few of the pointers from there. But very briefly, before I come to you, Nanaya, you talked about the fact that in order to deal with this, the government in power must insist on it. But again, you just mentioned a bit about the people themselves demanding this before they vote for you. How do you deal with the entire masses that are saying, give us our bit before we think of voting for you?
Well, I mean, you see, people feel like when people win power, they forget about them. And then so this is the time to get everything. You understand? And and so they feel like, let's cash in right now. And because once they get into power, we will not get it. Maybe when you are in power, you show that that is not going to be the trend. That may be one aspect. These are things that we need to think through, and maybe to ensure that maybe people the things I promised people, good roads, employment, and all those things, and people don't feel the need to get some monies, are not so vulnerable that they must get monies from you before they cast their vote. So governments in power should reduce the vulnerability of people to certain things, the accessibility of people to bribery. You understand? So that's in what I'm talking about in terms. And of course, and then the whole society then also benefits.
Indeed. Nanaya, please, your thoughts.
Beatrice, as I sit here, my heart is sad. Because you see, this world, we should all learn. No? Today we are talking like this and we are not even talking about the former MP.
Yes.
Tory.
Yes.
It's sad. You see, he's just gone and he's out of the game. And it's a way that we should all learn that this world is very transient. That today we are not even talking about him. You see, we need to be very... This issue of monetization of our politics is tricky. Eh? We also need to dichotomize between legitimate cost and illegitimate cost. As you campaign, she has campaigned before, she knows. Hajia too has campaigned, I have campaigned for campaign. There's legitimate cost. And we need to understand that one. We shouldn't just blanket everything as corruption. Because you need to buy fuel. You need to even give food to people who come and vote for you. There's some form of transportation aspect, because if you have a large constituency, there are other people who have to move across and all that. Do you get me? So we need to dichotomize between legitimate and illegitimate costs.
But there are those who argue that the legitimate cost should be, let's say, your brochures, your T-shirts, and those things that will help you publicize what you're doing, not necessarily food and transport.
Yes, because that is reality. Otherwise, our democracy, you find that some people will just sit in their house, they don't want to even vote. But clear inducement is what we need to guard against. But I also want to tell you from experience that inducement does not allow anybody to vote for you. Okay. A clear example is what happened a few weeks ago. 2 rich men didn't win an election. The other one, who is not rich, won.
Which elections are?
At the MPP primaries, there were 2 rich men in there. They did not win.
You mean Kennedy, Japan, and Brandon Champon?
Yes.
They are richer than Baumia.
Oh, but Baumia, when we talk, Baumia has power. He has been a vice president. But when it comes to wealth, they themselves say that...
No, but social capital is important.
They themselves say that they are...
Let her make a point, briefly,
We are
please.
talking about briefly for me. She briefly.
No, for her. I'm saying
she doesn't need to.
Please go ahead.
Social capital is not about corruption. What we are discussing is not social capital. It is important. But when we are doing our comparison, social capital does not come in here. We are talking about people inducing people to vote for them. And I'm saying that necessarily does not translate into votes. People have various reasons that they vote for people. One of my uncles told me that in 1992, he was going to vote for Kofor. When he went there to vote, he looked at something and he said that he's voting for Rollins, but Rollins is Bruni. Did you get me? This is an illiterate uncle. That is what he said. I was sure Rollins is Bruni. And he voted for NDC. So people have various reasons why they want to vote. So if some people take it because everybody is taking, but they know who they want to vote for. Even people from your opponent's camp will come and take. But what is very important and necessary, and the NDC government has taken a step, the NDC party has taken a step that boldly they were able to call their own to investigate their own three. Nobody knows what happened at the end of the MPP. Do you understand? And they are not even talking about it.
Well, the special prosecutor is looking into
that one is for the is it not for the primaries? I'm talking about this Ayawaso election. They also went in there. So I am saying that nobody has even heard about their end. But at this end, the party has decided that let's look into it. Let's find ways that it will not happen again. And that is excellent. That is commendable. That a party will be bold enough to say, my own, I'm bringing you on board here to ask you what the three of you, what happened. And that's after the meeting, after every deliberations, we have then noticed that if we do not let it go, we might lose on it. So we have put it there. It is there on the burner. It is still boiling. We will look into it. That is commendable. But also, what is also commendable on the part of the candidate is his love for the grassroots. It's his love for him to be involved. You see, the glory of being an ambassador is beautiful. We wake up in the morning. My uncle was an ambassador. I was young. You drink tea. The people will come. They will talk. You have meetings, bilateral meetings. But he said, I don't want that. Given the opportunity, I want to be with the grassroots. I want to be with my people. I want to be with the Zongos. I want to be with my own. The Zongo people are beautiful people. Hajia didn't say it. She said what she was trying to say, I know my people who are good. And my people are going to be good. Because they are great. Do you get me? You have to associate with the people in the Zongo. They are lovely.
I know that.
Yes, they are lovely. I mean, I'm telling you. Anybody, some people say, oh, no. You see, if you treat them well, they treat you great. But if you go and you start mistreating them and like disrespecting them, that one you have it, and it's like with everybody. So, Baba, I was going to say Baba Kamara because Uncle Baba Kamara was the former. Baba Jamal, good morning, Uncle Baba Kamara. Baba Jamal has come back to serve his people. And for me, anybody who can take that bold step to leave all the glory of being in the diplomatic service, to come home and serve his people, it is commendable.
It's commendable.
And I think that we have to commend him. And I think that he has done a very good thing, a very patriotic thing. And I know that on that day, there's going to be peace.
There's going to be peace. We'll have to end it here. Thank you very much, Nanaya Jantua, a presidential staffer. Also to you as well, Madam Susan Edwa-Mankwa, public health advocate. Our time is up, unfortunately.
Don't give her time.
And then Madam Gloria Menu, National Women's Organizer, United Party. But let me read just about two of your messages from, okay, you didn't add your name, but you said the Food and Drugs Authority is so named for a reason. The might and department functions are clearly spelled out with regards to food and drugs. Politicians will muddy the waters always. There's also one from Stephen Penwa. It says, good morning, Beatrice. I have the same mindset just like my sister Nanaya. I hope there will be stringent measures to ensure the domestic and open consumption of these cannabis to further get our youth wayward. So he's trying to say that we should ensure that the regulatory frameworks work to protect our young ones. But thank you very much for coming in and joining in the conversation.
Thank you for not allowing Susan to speak again.
That'll be it for the